Isn't it about time for somebody's favorite radio program?
The question isn't what are we going to do, the question is what aren't we going to do.
Caution everyone to watch out for pies.
At this point, anything is possible, so yes, pies, seltzer bottles, balloon animals, be alert.
Alrighty then.
Whatever it is we look forward to and whoever it is we're chasing, to that I say amen.
Keep this thing going. Pick a name. Go on the air. Talk hard.
To that I say all right, all right, all right.
Ghost in the Shell is the next generation of animated feature entertainment. The story centers around a life form that evolves from the internet. The semi-cybernetic team sent to counter this incredible situation are forced to question the meaning of their own lives.
Police! Everyone, hit the ground!
With production values exceeding the legendary Akira and a gripping storyline, this picture represents the leading edge in the new animated entertainment genre.
Ghost in the Shell. Released theatrically worldwide, fall 1995.
Earth is in trouble.
Enemy attack! Enemy attack!
We need the Gundams.
It's here.
All new Gundam wing action figure model kits.
That's a mobile suit!
Build your own Gundam mobile suit.
A Gundam!
Snap together multicolor pieces. No glue required. Extreme articulation. Pick your favorite or collect them all.
Gundams are on Earth. Roger that.
Gundam wing action figure model kits. Only from Bandai.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time you've been working all week long for. The time we officially... Let's hear some car horns out there going with the whistle. Everybody ready? All right.
Quitting time. I said it's quitting time. I was the foreman. I was the one says when it's quitting time at Terra. Quitting time!
You are a wonderful person.
Friday evening, what a feeling, feel like singing.
Losing his mind. And I'm reaping all the benefits.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
All right, folks, welcome to another Friday Popscast, and hope you're having a great week. Hope things are going well, and you're looking forward to another great weekend. But thanks for being with me. And with me, it's a great guest. Dude's been a friend and a supporter and just a fan of his and everything he's doing over there with his gaming, anime talk, his great conversations and panel stuff. A.K.A. Anime Night is in the house. What's going on, brother?
Hey, Pops. What's up, everybody? It has been a very long time since I've been here, actually, given the chaos in my life and everything else. I'm more impossible to get than the president.
Well, I know that our schedules have run in opposite directions for a while now, and it's great to have you with me. And for those of you who are not familiar, all the links are in the description. Make sure you do connect with AK, go over there and be a part of his show and the panels and gaming streams and anime conversation, tons of stuff that you'll just enjoy. And I think that the perspective of having someone who's not only younger, but into more of anime and gaming than I am, despite all of the rumors out there, I'm sure. It would be my thesis in this conversation is that we're in kind of an age of mediocrity where everything is mediocre, and a lot of times we're being told things are great. And yet, when I think if we step back and we realize that 10, even 5 years, but let's say 10 years, 20 years, I don't know what we're talking about. I think we might have one or two things at best. It's exceedingly rare. My first sort of like example of mediocrity right now is the fact that I am so blah on going to see Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. I would have been more excited, AK, until I heard that it's another long film. I also heard some praise from Chris Gore, who'd already pre-screened the film, and he even admits the film drags. So it's not only 2 hours and 49 minutes, it also drags. And I'm like, okay, hold on. And again, at the end of this, I want to give you my solution to all the age of mediocrity. But dude, I love Mission Impossible movies. I thought Dead Reckoning was fine, but 2023 was really the eye-opener for me, where we had a lot of good and possibly great movies, but they were bloated by being way over 2 hours long. Every single one of these movies should be trimmed by 15 to 30 minutes, and that Mission Impossible movie was no exception. I feel so when I say that, I have to kind of add the caveat, folks. That doesn't mean I'm cutting whole scenes. I'm talking about this 7-minute sequence could become 5. This whole walking sequence doesn't even matter. They're talking over here for nothing, doesn't even matter. There's so much fluff in these movies. Dude, AK, sell me on 2 hours and 49 minutes, even though I love Tom Cruise and I love Mission Impossible.
Believe me, I know the feeling. I really know, because you're right. Sometimes there are certain scenes in the movie, and I've noticed this too, where it doesn't go anywhere. It feels like I'm watching a TV show with filler and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now for most films, you can get away with this and everything, because there's usually build up to the next scene and all that, and laying the seeds of what's to come. But unfortunately, with Mission Impossible, I mean, great series, loved it overall and everything. I have my mixed feelings on Tom Cruise, but the man does do his stuff. He knows what he's doing and everything. I'll be as it may. If the movie is dragging, then that's not good. There are certain scenes you can cut out and everything that don't fit. Like him running on the bridge and everything. I'm like, why the hell is he running on the bridge? Because I saw the. Yeah, I mean, you could trim out that.
Yeah, the Mission Impossible cliche of him running is not going to get cut. I'm totally aware that's not going to happen. However, I was rewatching.
Well, just cut that bridge. Just cut that bridge scene, but keep the where he's running after the airplane. Keep that one in, because that makes. Because I looked at the two scenes in the trailer. Him running after an airplane makes the most sense, because there's more drama to it. Him running on the bridge, that could be you and me doing that on a daily basis. It could be but how I would do the scene, I would have the emergency happen, have Tom Cruise run down wherever he's at, get into a car and drive like a madman, like he usually does in some of the films. And then boom, there you go. I saved you 7-8 minutes of him just running. But we know that won't get cut. We know.
So I don't even think so. I want to make sure I'm clear, because I'm like I'm not interested in cutting all of this. Like, this is what I want.
No, this looks amazing. No, this is amazing. Like this I keep in. Of course, great to see. What's that actor's name?
Ving Rhames is back.
Great to see him again. One of my favorite actors next to Terry Crews. Really stepped up his game. In the last few years. I loved it. I loved him, and now I pronounce you Chuck and Larry. I loved his scenes.
And I love that. I love what I've heard. I understand with some of the stunts and things that he does. I'm down for all of that. That is not my issue. I tend to feel that they become like a lot of exposition about, especially the other piece with this, and I heard this. So again, I haven't seen the movie yet, but I feel like it's the send off. I don't care about it being a send off. I just care about it being a good movie. So if there's a bunch of time wasted where we have to reminiscent about, Mission Impossible 1, 2, and 3, or we have to talk about Rogue Nation some more, we have to recap. People need to be responsible and go watch the crap and catch up on their own. We don't need to talk about it and do whatever so we can serve to the ego of it ending the franchise, the series, whatever. I want a good movie that's solid and moves faster, and I don't have faith in something. Let's just assume credit. I'm going to give them a long credits. I'm going to say 15 minutes for credits. You're talking 2.5 hours. You guys, you're taking advantage of us, and I think that's the problem. I think that Dead Reckoning, when I started rewatching the opening sequence, the submarine part was fine, and then they started talking about the submarine sequence, and it just kept going on and on and on with this whole intelligence guys back and forth in the room and all these different people. And we don't even know who 2 or 3 of these characters are. They don't really matter before Tom Cruise reveals that he's in the room and has the actual conversation with Kittrick. There's at least 3 or 4 minutes there we could probably trim.
Yeah.
And then they cut to the airplane scene with these soldiers who are basically talking about how bad Tom Cruise is, and he's this guy we have to go catch Ethan Hunt, whatever. And I'm like, okay, again, at least a minute of this or so is a waste of our time. The audience knows things. I don't know who they're talking to. So that's my first big criticism of all this bloat.
Oh, absolutely. And this is what the James Bond films did correctly. They kept the pace going. They kept the characters going. There's not too many characters on one screen. You know who's in the room and everything. If you go back and watch the classic James Bond, I feel like that's what James Bond did correctly. If you compare it to Mission Impossible, like I could watch GoldenEye starring Bronson and be entertained. And be entertained throughout that whole movie and not feel like a dull moment. Because the action's there, the dialogue is there, you know what they're doing, you know where Bond is going, just the main people in the room, not the extra characters or anything. Because I feel like the less characters you have in a screen, the more impact it is. Because it's just the main character. Because you want the focus on the main character, albeit Tom Cruise. You want his character in the room, and you want the main people in the room with him talking about this whole thing. Now, look, I know how people are with like extras and everything. Oh, we gotta get this person in and all that, which is completely fine, but you gotta learn to make them effective. Otherwise, they're gonna be no names, and you and I won't even remember who the hell they are, albeit a man, woman, or whatever. The problem is, you're correct. It's the pacing of the scene that really drags it out. Because, like you said, the 2 guys talking, and then we finally get to the main part where Tom Cruise just walks in and boom, he kicks in the what we already know.
Right.
So why do that? Just cut that 4 minutes out, like you mentioned, but keep that scene in with Tom explaining everything, and then boom, you're on, and then boom, you still have our attention. Because then we're just gonna sit there and look at the scene and be like, you guys are treating us like idiots, like we're idiots.
Yeah, this is why I'm not excited about Mission Impossible. And so every I go back to 2023 because like I said, light came on. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is another one. A lot of folks, especially even in our circles, love this movie. Thought it was great. I heard it's better than the second one. Fine. I usually ask about certain scenes, like why did we go to this planet and do this? It was like a gaming quest. It didn't really have any purpose at all. They kind of go out here for about 20 minutes and they kind of come right back. They have some Marvel gags. Characters don't change. Nothing really matters. The MacGuffins don't change. Again, doesn't need to delete the whole sequence, but maybe 20 minutes becomes 10 minutes. And maybe we also talk about, maybe a character drops a comment about how that was a waste of time. The characters in it at least acknowledge of, hey, we made a mistake, whatever. So it would have become another star level up. So if I rated it as, let's say, a 3 out of 5 movie, let's say it's a 6 for me, it would become like a 7 if we could just trim that 15 or 20 minutes of fat off of Guardians 3. The Spider-Verse, the new Spider-Verse movie was the same way. It's like these sequences just kind of went on too long. This was a little long. Again, trim that 15, 20 minutes. They're all elevated. right out of the gate, one of the movies that I was most excited for this summer was the Mission Impossible thing, and I find out it's nearly 3 hours long. There is zero chance. There's negative chance I could convince Mrs. Pops to go now. There's no way. How can I justify 3 hours of not knowing if it's a good movie or being a slow movie when I could go home and go, can I turn on Lord of the Rings? She would like, you know what I mean? It's like, what am I supposed to do
That's
with
like
this?
trying
This is
to.
nuts.
That's like trying to justify Robert De Niro's Killers of the Flower Moon. That one, I fell asleep halfway through.
I couldn't even watch it. I couldn't.
I'm
I've
like,
heard
what?
so many things about these movies, and there are good movies that I haven't even watched.
And you know me, I love the gangster genre. I love the fedoras and like the mob and everything. I'm all for that. This film, however, I fell asleep, and I never do that. I could watch Casino right now and still be mildly entertained.
Yeah, the better example for me would be The Irishman. The Irishman's
Oh,
on Netflix, 3 hours and 30 minutes. I have watched 2 hours and maybe 30 minutes or four. I don't know how long. I just kept going. I'd stop for a while and I'd come back and I'd watch a bit. At some point, I have no idea. I just at some point I'm like, it's good for what it just goes on forever. I mean, why don't I just make them TV miniseries at this point? Why don't you just make them, something that would be more digestible in a way that communicates this is a very long, epic thing. Anyway, so I was upset about the Mission Impossible thing. They changed the name, so the first one's called Dead Reckoning Part One, but it's not really because now it's called Final Reckoning. The send off, all of that. I'm very disappointed because I will say my odds of seeing this in the theater is dwindling. I will definitely have seen it. I will, folks. I will not miss it. I will watch it. I have my means, as many of you know. My yacht club membership is alive and ready to sail. I will see that. But this is one of my things that is a perfect example of why it will be touted as so great, but I would think its legacy over time will even itself out and it won't hold a candle to kind of the middle ones. I think, the Rogue Nation Ghost Protocols, when it hits its peak, it really runs on all cylinders. I know it gets a little over 2 hours, but it just moves so much faster. Yeah. So that's my general take on it. So what do you think about MI? You gonna run out and see this one?
I'm gonna wait until after opening weekend, given how crazy it's gonna be this weekend, because I work in the theater industry, so it's gonna be pretty crazy. Because on top of the Lilo and Stitch one, with this one, I'm gonna wait until after opening weekend and test the waters to see what the audience thinks. I haven't seen the number of sales yet. I haven't seen the number of tickets sold yet, but I'm gonna keep that on the back burner until I can get a better view of it. But so far, I've heard some of the customers saying that they're excited to see it, but that's mainly it. That's all I could get out of them. But you are right, though. It's a matter of pacing and all that, and it's like this feels like it should be a mini series because that's what Knuckles did. That's what Knuckles did for the build up to Sonic 3 because because it was short enough. It got to the point. Knuckles is amazing, and I felt like that was a good way to do that series rather than a full length movie, even though it would have been cool to see. But I feel like the miniseries did equally the impact and what it set out to do and everything from my understanding. Because I like that character. I had fun seeing the Sonic series and everything. And on top of that, I feel like and the title change does kill it too. That's what happened. That's what doomed the Captain America. Well, I don't know if you want to call it Captain America now. I still call him Falcon. Uh, Brave New World because apparently they can't use Civil War because they already did that, or New World Order because
Yeah.
of the terminology behind that one too. So for me, it should have been Falcon. Um Falcon enemy at large or something like
Yeah.
that. Just keep Falcon, because why are we slapping the
And
Captain
again,
America on him?
it was too long as well, right?
That's
So again, a
what
movie,
killed it.
yeah,
That
another movie
killed
that's
it.
it's just way too. So here's my solution. I'll go ahead. This is my solution for all these bloated movies. This is a bloated movie solution. Anyone in Hollywood, you want to fix this? You'll make more money. Here's what you do. You go to someone like Tom Cruise and you say, listen, Tom, I got it. I know what you want to do here, but you got to give me, and I'll give it to Tom Cruise more than I'll give it to the other examples. The other examples need to get a 2-hour cut, a 1 hour and 45 minute to 2-hour cut. But for Cruise, I would go 2 hours and 15 minutes. I got to get a 2 hour and 15-minute cut. All right, we're going to release that's the first go. However, about 6 to 8 weeks into it, if you want, we'll release a director's cut, a Cruise cut, if you will. And we'll release the full thing in the theaters, and I'll give you a little bit more money of that cut. So imagine having a theatrical run about the time that it's coming down, you can have a theatrical cut. Especially when you're talking about 20 or 30 minutes of more material. Most people who like the first one, even if they don't know they want to sit through 20 or 30 minutes more, they'll be like, man, I don't know, I like Guardians 3. Did you hear they're going to do a new gun cut of Guardians 3 and it's going to have 20 more minutes? They're like, well, yeah, I'll go sit through that. Sure, why not? I like the first version. Yeah, they'll make more money. There's an audience cut and a director's cut. So now you have two different versions to sell. I don't understand why it's such rocket science to fix this bloated movie problem. Like if they want to do their epics, like they said, or they don't want to go, like you said, miniseries route, which some things I think it could work, some things not, but make a special cut. Do a special cut. This is just crazy to me. I don't know.
You're right. It's like, look, Mr. Cruz, I understand what you want. Like you mentioned, we both understand what you want to do, and we could still work within that. Can we just get it to a 2 hour and 15-minute mark and wait and see what happens?
Yeah.
If anything, we could do a test screening of that and see what the audience thinks, and then we'll go back to the drawing board. We'll get the results and everything from the screening audience. If they like it, fantastic. If not, we'll go back to your idea.
Yeah.
At least give it a chance.
Yeah. The bloated movie syndrome.
It's you and me who are going to go to the movies in one way or another. I'll be as maybe open weekend or a few days after.
Yeah, no, I'll see the movie, and this is another one I'm going to see as well. But this is another problem. So the Superman trailer, I didn't do a video. Superman movie, I kind of stopped talking about, and I'll tell you why. It stopped being about Superman. I want a Superman movie, and instead we end up with like all sorts of other stuff that's not going away. So I defended the original announcement when Gunn had said, "Hey, we're going to have Nate Fillion play Guy Gardner, and Isabel." Merced's going to play a Hawk Girl. We'll have Mr. Terrific in it. We're going to have a Metamorpho. It's like, oh my gosh, it started sounding like a Guardians movie. I don't want a Guardians movie or a Suicide Squad movie. I want a Superman movie. And it's like, all right, well, no, that's okay. Let's not overreact. Let's wait and see. Let's see how it goes. But we're through a lot of marketing material now. We're through a lot of rumors. And it feels like a hodgepodge of all sorts of stuff that's not Superman. And I've lost my interest went from being very high. It's so pivotal to save everything. It's so important to make this WB project thing work. Because if it doesn't work, they're doomed. I'm sure you didn't know. Many people out there don't know. So I was live with Zax. I was on Zax's channel when this happened. They announced they were firing Henry Cavill. They were doing this thing. That's what I was on him. I was like, I heard of
that. I heard of that when they were going to dump Henry Cavill, and I'm like, why?
I was live with Zax. This is right after he had the cameo in Black Adam. That even if it didn't save things, everyone was talking about the Cavill cameo, like it was hope. It was like a new direction. Okay, all right, hold on. We'll give you some more time. And I said then, they don't have money. How many loans are these people going to get to finance 10 more pictures or start overs again? Like, I don't know where all the money's coming from. Like, why are we doing that? And if Superman doesn't hit, I don't know how this goes for this studio. Like, how does it not go? So, I mean, I've heard there's reshoots. I've heard there's the whatevers. There are things in the trailer that I like. I am not a massive Guy Gardner fan. Here, I'll take that back out. We'll do it the other way. I think he looks really frumpy. He doesn't quite look right in this shot. Can't really tell much by this. I think she's a beautiful lady, so I'm kind of disappointed they didn't go with kind of a different design or whatever.
They should have went with her with the Justice League animated series.
The animation version. Yeah,
because that one was it was still hot girl, sexy, dominant, and really can hold her own next to Wonder Woman. It's just like I feel like they just hate. Now him, I have no problem with. Wonderful actor. I have
definitely willing to give him a chance. Great actor, great performer. He is one of those that I say this a lot about a lot of different actors, and it'll be like Johnny Depp's a good example. The movie might suck, but it wasn't his fault.
Yeah,
right. The movie might be a problem. It wasn't Nicholas Holt's fault. Nicholas Holt, I don't think I've seen a Nicholas Holt was really bad. The most recent trailer also continues this. I don't understand why we're spending so much time showing like injured and damaged Superman, because part of the problem with Superman is he is so invincible, right? This is one of my big things why I'm not a bigger Superman fan. Reading so many comic books and knowing so much about all of this is like, it is the chaos of the world that he's having to play in. That's more interesting than, hey, they just beat up Superman. It's the fact that they should be able to beat up Superman. So they seem like they're going really out of their way to do that and showcase the dog and all these characters. This is what I want. I just want a cool Superman movie, saving people, kicking butt, taking names, saving the universe, give everybody hope. So this is another of my age of mediocrity where maybe the Snyder Bros will just cling to their era, and maybe they'll be Gun Bros that'll cling to their era. And reality is, 20 years from now, it'll still be the Christopher Reeve movie that was better than all of it. Sorry. It's the one that everyone will still hold this down. I don't know what to tell you. It's still the most heroic, the best. It captures why the stupid story has lasted for so long. I'm sorry to have to tell Hollywood the truth. So many comic books have come and went. There's so many characters that have come and went. They're going to, I don't know if you're familiar with how public domain works, but we're really going to be headed into the next 10 years where a ton of this stuff is going to start dropping like crazy into public domain. Right? We're going to get into that beginning.
And believe me, I could go wild with that too. The minute public, because if you've seen with the videos, I still do videos every now and then. My intro is actually made by my channel artist who had Willie the Steamboat Willie piloting the little pirate ship in the intro, and it has like my channel name at the bottom. My channel artist did all that, and guess what? I haven't gotten hit for that. I haven't gotten hit.
Well, you shouldn't if it's Steamboat Willie stuff, right? So you definitely should. Yeah. And same thing with like, so again, just advance a year. Steamboat Willie came out in this year, add 1 year. What come out in that year? That's the next year. On. So it doesn't take very long. You're young enough to, you're going to see it. You're going to live through it. Golden Age Superman, Golden Age Batman, Golden Age character. They're going to, these are big things landing in public domain, which means you just go write your own version of Superman. Just use what's in that, use that version with that S, that color, that type of thing. Those. So, I mean, I wish I was younger because I've been using like all these different AI tools to write outlines and make up my, it's like having a secretary, like write this and make it, organize it this. And that's all these golden age type stories and characters because it's already started. The only reason any of that stuff lasted is for certain reasons that have only been captured on film or in TV in certain ways. Like the first season of Superman and Lois, the new one, that was good. The Superman movie, I think. Obviously, we talk about Batman 89 was very culturally, it captured the realistic, grounded feel of a real life dude doing this. It didn't really feel like the comic book in a lot of ways, but it felt like you could believe it. Nolan's Batman feels also like the techie guy you believe if he was rich enough could pull this crap off. Same with Tony Stark and Iron Man. It all feels like the way that you capture our stuff. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. I mean, there are pieces they get right, dude. Look at this.
They get that right just fine. And that's almost the comic accurate lowest we've ever gotten. Like close to the like close enough.
Yeah, actually, Lois has been the least of their problems. I saw a meme recently about all the Loises from Terry Hatcher to all the different movies, whatever. Lois is pretty rarely the problem. Obviously, the Superman Returns was kind of a mess.
Oh God,
like, the airplane scene,
Superman Return one. Holy crap!
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, that was a mess.
I had to turn that movie. I had to turn that movie off or hit skip every time she came on. I had to hit skip.
No, it isn't just her. There's only like 2 scenes even worth watching in the movie. It's just it's just so bad and just but I hate to be a critic, but that's what I do. He went like cute dog based on his dog. It's not Crypto. Crypto's like a lab. Crypto's like a big, stupid, goofy looking, fun. It's not this glorified terrier thing. I get the cutesy dog thing for marketing, but
yeah. And I can't I can't argue that. I can't argue the marketing. It's like, look, I get it. We included Crypto the super dog, which is fine, but you see, there you go. See,
he looks better in this scene than he does in the other ones.
See, there you go. That's how Crypto is supposed to be. Ready to go with the cape on and everything. Because it's funny to me how the animated series got him right, and yet when you put that to live action, it crashes into a brick wall. Same with everything else. Lois in the animated series. Lois in the animated series is by far my favorite one because I can laugh. Like, she can crack jokes and everything, and I still get a laugh out of it all these years later. And it's like, it's that simple. If the Batman series can get Bruce and Alfred right, why? But I do see what you mean, though, with the other characters. I do see what you mean. Like, why the hell is Green Lantern there? Why is Hawkgirl there? I mean, it's cool to see Hawkgirl. About time we got Hawkgirl. About time.
And I didn't hate Hawkman in the Black Adam movie. I didn't hate some of these elements of having a Justice Society and all these other different. Fine, but we should get to know this Superman first. Like, we need to have a Superman-centric. Now, I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping this is just them throwing a bunch of stuff out of there to keep everyone on their heels. But that's not the way you get people to the theater, right? AK, like you should have me excited about seeing the movie, not having us bicker about what's in the movie. And I think that's kind of where we're at with some of this marketing. I went back and watched, well, no surprise, everyone on my channel, I watch a lot of old movies, and actually I watch a lot of movies in general, but I started watching some of these trailers too, because I've been trying to include them into intros, like for this show here. Put like an old retro trailer in for something, right? Maybe I'll do that for Superman. We'll put an old retro Superman trailer in or something. And they do. First thing is I would do is I'd bring back that movie guy. You know the movie guy voice, right?
Yeah.
Give you the Pops version of the movie guy, right? This guy. This summer, a hero returns. Hope is restored across Earth. Then you cue that John Williams music. Dun, 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 dun. And you go into... That's what we want. We don't want another film by James Gunn. Don't you know James Gunn? He's the Guardians of the Galaxy guy. James Gunn. Yeah. It's like, oh my God. It's more about him than...
It's like
marketing.
In our world, there's a man who was made of steel faster than a speeding bullet. His name is Superman, and he's off to fight off Lex Luthor and everything else. Tune in this summer for Superman the movie.
Brought to you by
see that's how you sell people. That's how you sell. But I will agree though, because how many times have we seen Green Lantern? I lost count how many times we've seen that man. Give that man a rest for a minute. What keep Hawkgirl in. Crypto's already there. Let's keep him in. Lex Luthor has a reason to be there. Lois Lane has a. I almost said Griffin. I almost said Griffin. Lois Lane has a reason to be there. Just keep it at that. Just keep it at those main people, because I get where they're going. I get it. They want to do another Justice League movie because all roads lead to a bigger film, like a bigger collaboration of superheroes. Just like with Marvel's with Marvel's Doomsday. So that I'm just getting that out of the bag right now. But that's not how you like leave breadcrumbs to the movie. That's not how you do it. Oh, this is a beautiful shot. This right here, I love because that is building up to because that's what we used to see that in the Super Friends, like in classic Superman cartoons. We used to.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't in the Hall of Justice yet. They had this here. It was not in the Hall of Justice yet, ladies and gentlemen. They did meet here from time to time.
I really don't like the symbol though. I know they want to go with like the Kingdom. Basically they're going like Kingdom Come and some of the Grant Morrison type stuff because that won't be in public domain, right? So public domain type stuff. And I just feel like, sure, you want Justice League, sure, you want these things, but you got to do it right first. And Green Lantern is getting some sort of TV series. Now they're just calling it Lanterns, which is stupid marketing. Please stop with trying to be so clever and out-clever yourselves. Dear Lord, just call it Green Lantern Corps and just do a show about Hal Jordan and John Stewart, and then put Guy Gardner showing up, and then add another Green Lantern, and then have them go into space and meet 2 or 3 other Lanterns. Just I don't understand how there's no one. They claim they're fans. They claim, and then it's like we sit around and we're like, okay, I don't think I'm asking for much. I mean, I upset people that are Green Lantern fans going, I had no problem doing the John Stewart movie first. I could easily come up with a rationale of making this work. But it doesn't mean the other characters don't exist in the universe. It just means we haven't gotten to their story yet. We're going to button it up. The Green Lantern has never been done right. Not even close. The Ryan Reynolds stuff is a mess. I just cannot watch it again.
Even Ryan Reynolds said he hated the Green Lantern.
It's just brutal.
Oh my god, I don't know what they were thinking with that one. However, I will say, the Justice League, the animated series, gets it right. That's as close as we gotten. I love that iteration of Green Lantern. I love Jon Stewart. I love him. Fun dude. I loved his scenes in that show. I loved his scenes, and it bothers me so badly that we can't get a proper one to go. I mean, if they threw Jon Stewart in this Superman movie, I would be fine with it. I would be fine. Just write it correctly.
They don't even seem interested in going in the right direction from adapting what has worked for them already. So, for instance, when they did Batman vs. Superman, they're fighting that horrible version of an excuse of a Doomsday character.
Oh, God, that was
awful, by the way.
That was bad.
They were okay bringing Wonder Woman to the scene, but the perfect opportunity was to have her bring Flash and Aquaman, have Aquaman bring the Kryptonite, not kill Superman, to make it like the early prototype of a Justice League. Everything is there for them to adapt. And then if you go back and watch the Justice League animated series, the first 3 episodes where they're basically coming together to fight this alien invasion, just adapt that. That would have been a movie. Just adapt that. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You've done things that are right. Just do those.
You could put those 3 episodes and you have enough to make a movie. Just those 3 episodes. 3 episodes alone. See, this is why I make the argument that we need to have actual fans like you, me, and so many others back in the writing room, the storyboard, the director chair, everything. Because remember when actual fans used to be in those rooms and we had actually decent, good movies like the Ramis Spider-Man, the Daredevil
was fine. The Fox X-Men was the first 2 were fine. The original, but this is what I'm excited about.
Daredevil was fine. I liked it.
Loved the director's cut of Daredevil is what you mean, right? The Ben Affleck Daredevil.
Yeah.
The director's cut is the one to watch because at least they explain that he's solving a crime. So not a big fan of the movie. However, there is a director's cut and they cut so much out of it. They made it a mess. I have no idea how they got that. They cut it for the wrong reasons. They were trying to get Jennifer Garner in it so they can make an Elektra movie instead of trying to make a good movie. But I want to circle back to what I said before about excited for your generation and younger, because with public domain and AI coming, it will make this all more affordable for folks to make their own stuff. Now, I would recommend people don't feel like you got to go out and make a feature film. Just learn your craft, learn skills, learn how to animate, learn how to storyboard, learn how to, write and direct and do the things that you need to do and do small scales. The internet makes it so you can do. What if you were to do like the old days where they bring back serials? Everybody just starts making 7-minute, 8-minute little, Superman clips or whatever you're passionate about, and you start doing your own thing. You just put them on the internet. Just every week, something drops, and just do it yourself. Eventually, it'll keep going. And I think bringing that cost down and stuff like that is, what can work best for folks. But I just don't see how people that are more interested in dodging the past. That's how I feel. I feel like they're interested in dodging the past. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like they're not interested in
because they throw the race card and all that crap, and it's like me and a few others. We had no problem with Michael Clark Duncan being Kingpin. We had no problem with that. Dude was phenomenal. Same thing with John Stewart being Green Lantern. I had no problem with it. Did you have a problem with it?
No, I think Green Lantern is the most easy to explain why there would be black, green, pink, and otherwise Green Lanterns, because there are. Because it's a core. It's a group of people. It makes no sense. Now, the Black Kingpin's a little trickier, but he didn't feel like... I really wish they wouldn't have called him Wilson Fisk, but I hear what you're saying. There wasn't backlash because we weren't inundated with it. Doing it here and there. Like, we had a Black Catwoman. Now, Black Catwoman was retarded because they didn't put any other black characters in the movie because they're retarded. However, we weren't mad that Halle Berry was playing Catwoman. We were upset because it was just a stupid movie. Now there's so many changes. Now we go, oh, you guys aren't doing it because you're trying to even tell a story. You're just doing it. You didn't get Halle Berry because you did Catwoman because you could get Halle Berry. She just happened to be black. You're not doing it because you're getting good people. You're just checking boxes. You know what I mean? You weren't getting good people. So I think that's where the issue, and that takes me right into where I'm at now with the third leg of my problem. I got the bloated movie syndrome. Then I got all this ego stuff and ignore the past and whatever. And then I got a fact that they just don't have good characters.
This was hard. This was hard to get through. Like on Nightcast, this was so hard to get through because me and Joker, we were like laughing our butts off about this because it's like it's a failed comic book. The track record proves it, and yet Marvel, for whatever reason, really wanted to hammer this out. Like they did not care. It's like Neil Druckmann trying to shove The Last of Us 2 in our faces, like saying, look at this great sequel when it was a piece of crap. It was a piece of crap to begin with. And you can make the argument here. They're shoving this out like they're trying to force us to accept this as a brand new thing, when in reality that's not the case. If you can't do a comic book fails, don't bother making something where it's gonna bomb. This one is gonna bomb. I'm not, and keep in mind, nothing against the actress, nothing against that. It's gonna bomb, big time. They didn't learn from They didn't learn from the Marvels. They didn't learn from the other flops that they've had.
Right, like you mentioned Captain America at the beginning of the show. Like, the Captain America, for instance. Like, that's not what anybody wanted. So, and by the way, for those of you who don't know, because I'm such a gaming noob, my insight's so valuable to the Last of Us conversation. I have been doing videos on how bad the Last of Us is, because it is absolutely god-awful. So forget all the people that hate on the game. If you just wanted an objective critic, I can't believe how bad it is. I cannot believe how bad it is. So my reviews are out there for that as well. But no, this is they are lying to you. They're lying to you. I saw the Ryan Coogler kind of a behind the scenes thing, and all. They try to tell you, oh, she's her own character and she's being mentored by Tony Stark, and that's all a lie. Tony Stark was dead when the comic book came out. She breaks in and steals the stuff. It's based on this racist nonsense thing. She gets in this argument with the teacher. Tell me something I can't be. It's like, you can't be Tony Stark because he's this rich white. It's all about
that's
her
what,
entitlement and
that's
horrible
what,
character.
That's what turned me off completely. Is like the self-insert politics and everything. This is why we hate it so much. Is because we just don't want to be reminded of it. We're here to enjoy a good series, and the fact that we still haven't gotten a War Machine movie yet is baffling to me. It is so baffling.
They scrapped it. Yeah.
Because I mean, I'd be fine with the War Machine miniseries. I would be fine with that too. I would call that a win. I would call it a W at least. But here, it makes no sense. It does not make sense. Like, yeah, you're just proving to everybody in the world that a majority of these folks are doing all this stuff, like looting and all that whimsical stuff. And it's a bad message to who your target audience is, because Lil Ashley is gonna think, oh hey, if I break into a rich white guy's place and steal all his stuff, I'll be a millionaire. That's a bad message to send.
It's all bad. It's so everything. This is my third leg of this is just that there's just bad characters. Like, I don't understand. There's nothing heroic about Riri Williams in the comic books. She's usually snarky and nasty, lectury. That's how she comes across in the footage that we've seen so far. They mess up the Hood character because he's not too bad in the comic books, but it doesn't look or feel at all like that. I truly just feel it was part of the fast tracking all of the new stuff. We fast tracked Miss Marvel. They fast tracked, all this new stuff. And then they kind of got stuck because the bottom is falling out because everybody's like, this kind of just sucks. And I'm like, everybody knows they suck if you read comic books because they're just terrible luxury people. Well, Miss Marvel is at least played by an actress and she's written as though she's at least a nice enough young girl. Riri Williams is not that. She is the epitome of the opposite of Miss Marvel because she's a nasty, witchy, entitled little black girl who blames race for everything. And if the show, because I mean, just this look, just this smarmy, nasty look, just I'm not interested.
It's so stupid. It's like this and it backs up my theory, my prediction that this is gonna tank really bad, no matter what the Marvel shills say. No, and I know some of them out there who will probably be watching this. I know who you are. No amount of shilling is gonna convince us to watch this. So stop it. Because look at this. Crap. This is crap.
This is terrible.
My word.
And if you remember, we're being told she's a genius. You'll be told she's a genius, she's a genius, she's a genius. Now, if you watch Wakanda Forever, by the way, I always point out, I don't think she has her helmet on when she's flying out into space and she would die. Just so you guys know, like, if what she's doing right now would kill her. So the genius is not quite as smart as she thinks she is. This was kind of a big issue with Iron Man, where he would fly and the suit would freeze up and he would like nearly die. And yeah, that was so yeah, that's my third leg. And again, I hate piling on Ironheart. It just happens to be the most recent one because we could pick anything. Secret Invasion wasn't really about Secret Invasion anymore. It become this Emilia Clarke amalgam scroll thing that's now out there. I don't even know how the MCU can ignore that. It's everything they did with the Eternals, where they took all this interesting dynamic characters, this Jack Kirby stuff, and turned them into these gray, generic, vanilla characters that no one even remember.
Joker gave his opinion on that, and I could tell by the sound of his voice he was not happy. He was
Eternals
not happy.
I know this is a hot take, but I consider Eternals worse than the Marvels because in Eternals, I actually nodded off in a theater. I actually nodded off in a Marvel movie. So like I was about 30 minutes or so in, I just kind of went, "Whoa, crap! I'm falling asleep in a Marvel movie." And so I've never watched it again. The ending is so dumb because all they had to do was kind of follow the lead of what they had set up, and they refused to do it because of girl power back when it was, that's the thing. Make no sense. It has we've completely ignored all of this stuff, the MCU type stuff, things like that. The Marvels is just a terrible, cringy movie, but maybe my expectations for it being bad, it was just not as bad. I actually find Captain Marvel more insufferable in her own movie than I did even in the Marvels. So I never watch any of those again. But this is the bottom of the Black Widow for me. It's impossible to watch. I can't watch a bunch of women fighting and falling off buildings and stuff that don't break limbs. It makes no sense.
The only scenes that worked was Sydney Sweeney, and that was it. She had the comic book accurate costume, had it down pat. Not even she could save that Madam Web. Not even her. She couldn't even save that movie. But at least we got almost a comic accurate Spider-Woman out of that whole thing.
I'll take your word on it. I'm not watching Madam Web.
That's it. That's okay. I will not force you. You're good. You're good.
Yeah,
I'm just saying the only good thing out of Madam Web was Sydney Sweeney, and the costume was accurate and everything. That was it. That was the entire thing, and I just watched it for that scene. That was it. Everybody else fell flat.
What in the last 5 years is among the greatest stuff? Like, so what I define that is, it wouldn't surprise you if it's on like people's top 100 or 250 lists, those kinds of things. Maybe it won awards. It feels very rewatchable. It feels like if we watch it now, it's going to feel just as good as when it came out, and people are still going to be kind of talking about it. Like if I bring it up, people kind of have a reaction maybe. So for instance, with TV shows, I bring up Breaking Bad. People, if they've seen it, they realize, oh, that's a good show. Solid show, right? Sopranos, oh, that's a good show. Solid shows. I bring up classic movies, different things. So I only have come up with 3 things in the last 5 years. You ready?
Go ahead.
The most obscure one is RRR. That's it's on Netflix. It's the Indian cinema film. It is the gateway for Westerners to get into Indian cinema. Now, not all Indian cinema is going to be for you, folks. I get it. But RRR it's got the music, but it's built into the story. It's got action. It's got romance. It's got all of these things that their cinema is full of, and decades of really good stuff. It's not significantly different than us. It's like one here and one there. It's the same thing. But it's a film that came to the West. It finally got Oscar recognition, Golden Globe, Saturn type. It finally got them on the map, so to speak. Because a lot of their stuff's always been snubbed. And a lot of their stuff is built towards just Indian history. So I would say it's the most obscure one. The biggest one is probably Top Gun Maverick. Because most people have seen it.
That was good.
Yeah, most people would watch it again. They feel like that's a solid movie. Watch that movie again. Yeah.
I feel like that was Tom Cruise at his best. Like
everybody says that, but he's done so many better things. It's so funny. Yeah. To me, he's Tom Cruise. He's the same Tom Cruise that I saw in Risky Business and in Top Gun, and he's just Tom Cruise. So it's only like a handful of movies that I feel like he's not Tom Cruise, but that's just interests me. I'm totally fine with that. I feel like I'm throwing shade. I'm not really.
No, you're good.
I'm just saying, like, Tropical Thunder is like a radical. Like, I can't believe that's Tom Cruise. Like, that's insane. Right? There's movies like that. Yeah, there's movies like that. Anyway, the last one is Godzilla -1. Godzilla -1 might be, and I know it's a hot take, arguably better than the original, but it is in the conversation of being the best of all time. It's at least in the top 3 Godzillas. And Godzilla is one of the biggest, longest lasting IPs and franchises. It loves its fans. It loves what it's doing. It was respectful. And it holds up just as beautifully now as it did when it came out. Now, I don't think it has as much of a sort of a widespread
I can forget.
But it should have people who've seen it.
I can forgive the 1997 one that came out.
I don't even acknowledge what you're talking about. Is that about an iguana? I don't even know what you're talking about. Iguanazilla?
See, ladies and gentlemen, he gets it. he gets it.
I know what it is. I have deep-rooted scars from that movie.
But still, I get what they were trying to do. But it was bad execution. It tried. But anyway, like you said, deep-rooted scars. But yeah, Godzilla -1. I saw that one, loved it. I did watch Adam Sandler's Uncut Gems. I could not stop laughing. I could not stop laughing. I love Adam Sandler. I love his work. Uncut Gems was good. I actually enjoyed it. It's something different it was something different from Adam Sandler. Because I loved him in Happy Gilmore. That's my all-time favorite. because I seen that movie with my late
I didn't know Uncut Gem was a comedy. I thought Uncut Gems was more like a dramatic piece.
something
No, crime
like
thriller.
well, yes, but with him, there's like some there's some comedic scenes in it with him, so you could order that on be as it may.
Okay, I have not watched Uncut Gems because I thought it was more of like a serious piece, and you have to be in the right mood to watch a serious piece, and it hasn't worked out. So I will have to prioritize that if there's enough levity in it to make it. I do love Anderson. Actually, we're doing Sandler movies this year in July because on Talk Hard because we've run out of shark movies that I can tolerate. Ironcatcher's killing me. So we're doing Sandler summer. I don't think Uncut Gems can make the list. I think we've got a pretty solid schedule of good, bad, and otherwise.
Well, if anything, I would just hold it off maybe till for another time, like have its own thing and everything.
Well, I may just do a watch and do my own video, and for the Sandler summer, just throw it out there on my own, not part of Talk Hard. But yeah, I could do that as well. So that's good.
But it also goes to show that that this last decade, Pops, it goes to show that we really need fans back in the room, like talented people who can do amazing things and know what they're doing. I feel like these editors and everything, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to cut a film and still keep it entertaining. Because we have all those movies that drag out that you and I mentioned a little bit ago. The drag out is there. The drag out's there, and it's not good. It makes you want to get up and just go to the concession stand, get popcorn and everything. That's how bad it is. And I have seen Megan. I have seen all the other ones. I've even seen Wonka.
Wonka's solid.
Yeah,
Megan's not terrible. Yeah, I think my wife likes Wonka more than me, but it's a musical thing for me. But I think it's, again, that to me is more like a 3.5 out of 5, maybe a 4 for the fans of musicals out of 5. Some of the people feel that way about Wicked. I found Wicked to be bloated and too long, but
no, that was
Megan's
was bad.
But I don't think any of that stuff makes the sort of like best of all time. I don't think there's anything.
There's good films in there, and
they're usually foreign films, right? So some of the best stuff that's been done has been done from overseas. Some of the boom now with some of the Korean stuff, but I think people are also just discovering the libraries of some of this foreign stuff. Like I mentioned India before, Korean's another one. Obviously, Japanese is got a long legacy, as you know, as an anime fan. Is there any anime that you think come out in the last 3 to 5 years where you're like, this is classic? So Arcane is probably the only one that comes to mind of like being really, really good and talked about. But I don't know, is that like legacy type caliber or not?
You could make the argument with that. I have seen an anime called No Guns Life. It takes place in the future and everything. And after the war, there's this company called the Bruno Corporation. It has mystery, it has drama. The characters are really cool, and the suspense is there and everything. It needs a third season because this is my one problem with anime. This is my one big problem. Closure. You have all these animes out there that don't have closures. This one is on here for that because I want to know what happened to this character. Where's this character's body at? What happened to that person's sister? What's going to become of that annoying CEO at the end? What's going to become of these characters? Because we don't know. And the cop out is, oh, we'll just leave it up to your imagination. You can only make that argument and that excuse for so many films where it works. But here it doesn't, because it's like we just want a solid conclusion that we can make it work. Naruto did it correctly with how it ended. Bleach at the time did it with how it ended and everything. All the other animes that ended were on good notes. Boruto, fuck that one. I could not watch it. It was a slap to the face of everything that Naruto built up. All the characters had their happy ends, and Naruto ended perfectly. I was happy with the ending, and that was the end of that. I don't acknowledge Boruto. I don't even want to be in the same room as that. I am far moved on from that. But there's also another one called Birdie Wing. It's actually a golf anime, but it's actually pretty entertaining. I never thought an anime about golf would keep me entertained.
I've heard there's anything you could think of. There's an anime of it, so I'm not surprised it's golf anime. So. I think the problem with TV is what you're saying though. It's like it has to be around long enough to make a footprint, but it also has to know how to end. And almost every criticism of every TV show is it doesn't end well, right? It's very few times do you have any positive feelings about a finale. And again, this goes back to the Mission Impossible thing too. It's like they're too busy trying to figure out how to feel good about themselves or talk about the memories, which just tell a good story.
This is why I had an issue with I hate bringing this bandage up, but Indiana Jones' A Dial of Destiny should never have been made. I don't know what you're talking about. That should never have been made. The Indiana Jones before that one, the last one.
I have no idea what you're talking about there. I almost my Crystal Skull. I couldn't do Crystal Skull, dude. I almost left. That's a famous line from Mrs. Pops. If she had a channel or a show, she would tell my story. So I have to do it on her behalf. I'm sitting and watching this movie, and I'm face palming constantly. I'm angrily consuming my snacks. I'm not a happy camper with this movie. And then at the end when that spaceship rises up, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I said it out loud. She's like, shh, be quiet, be quiet. So no, we can just go. We can just go. I'm saying this out loud. I'm not.
I could picture you just like anger eating the snacks and then throwing it up in the air when you see the spaceship and then just storm out.
She grabs my
see
arm
you doing that.
And she's holding me down, like, don't get up. And I'm like, no, we're going. Let's just leave. You're not making me leave now. We're only like a few minutes from this being over. It sucks. I'm like, I was like, no.
I could see you doing that. I could visually see that happening.
Do that to me.
But the first
one of my closest friends gave it like a 4 out of 5 or some nonsense, and I've never let him live that down. I've never let him live it down. And he just memory buried it all into goodness, because he would bring up things. I'm like, that was in your head. That didn't actually happen on the screen. Like you're assuming things about relationship. You're assuming things about, everything that happened. No, that happened. Like, what are you talking about? This movie sucked. It was terrible. So, you went to Indiana Jones, which I'm wearing a shirt of. And by the way, they're doing a Last Crusade showing in the summertime for like an anniversary thing. So that will get me probably in the theaters for Father's Day weekend or so. Because I'm thinking about that.
Go. Yeah. And then there was a recent one. This film is 2 years old. It's called The Boy and the Heron, and the shocker is this one won an Academy Award.
Yeah, I heard that was fantastic.
It was beautiful. It was beautifully done. I loved it. It earned that award. I wish more anime movies got more awards. Because that's what changing the guard right there. It's like, let these ones in. Demon Slayer, it's
Miyazaki. Okay, that's why. Okay, no wonder it's so good. Yeah, it's Miyazaki. Okay, I knew Miyazaki. See, I know a little bit. I know enough to be dangerous, and I know Ghibli films. So I like the Pinocchio movie, which won the animated, the Del Toro Pinocchio that won the Oscar.
Oh, that was good.
That was fantastic.
Good.
But these movies that are like that, there are some good ones. Like Pinocchio's like that. Then the new version of All's Quiet on the Western Front is like that. There's about 4 or 5. There's obviously a couple Korean films. There's things like that, but they don't have no footprint. They have no legacy to make these best of all lists. No one knows about them. So I don't know what to do to fix that. But I know we are in an age where there are so few good things sometimes that I combine things on my playlist. So there's like playlists of like, 1968 to 1972 or whatever it is. I combine because it's like there's so few things to build up a good enough playlist. Yeah, this playlist, which is full of a lot of crap because I'm doing YouTube so much, in hindsight, not much going on between 2020 and 2025. That's what my take is for sure.
That's pretty and it's pretty sad when you really look at it. I can't think of one. Well, aside from Deadpool and Wolverine and a few, and of course Godzilla -1 and a few others, I can't think of this decade's biggest blockbuster like a Batman '89 or The Matrix or Avatar, if you will, or what's another one? Or X-Men? None of
nothing
them.
on that caliber of those that you mentioned. Top Gun Maverick, Spider-Man No Way Home.
Those
would be
good.
the two big ones.
Yeah.
But since Avengers Endgame, there's not been anything. I know Avatar made a ton of money, but Avatar is not an IP that generates a lot of merch and like a fan cultish thing. It's got its own little weird fan. I cannot do the Avatar thing, guys. I'm out. I did not watch the sequel. Again, it's not like a 3-hour long movie. I'm not sitting through a freaking 3 hours of James Cameron nonsense. I'm just not doing it. I'm not. Not for Avatar. I'm pretty sure I behaved at the end of Avatar. And I mean, like, you'd be happy with me, but the drive home was pretty rough because I'm like, did I just watch like Pocahontas? Did I just watch freaking Dances with Wolves with Blue People? Like, what did I just watch? In the last few minutes of the movie, like, it's so stupid where he's just like, yeah, I know I could have just told you all about all this, but I enjoy banging this blue chick, so I didn't tell you anything. I'm actually a human in a pod who can't walk. Like, it's so retarded. And it goes back to one of my principles of when story elements only work if the character is lying.
Exactly.
You have a story element, and only works if I withhold the truth. I can't stand that. And for a movie to end that way, it really ruins a movie because
it should be illegal in the world of film. That should be illegal.
Get out of here! Get out of here!
But I have that same sentiment with Avatar, the Last Airbender, the M. Night Shyamalan one. I will forever regret going to see it. I cannot believe I went to go see that abomination of a fucking movie. Netflix got it right. Netflix got the current one right.
Is that the one of the worst movies you've seen in the theater ever? We'll close on this. Some of the worst movies you've ever seen in a theater?
Dragon Ball Evolution, that one.
I saw Highlander 2.
Highlander 2, yeah, that one was bad.
But you're not old enough to have seen that in the theater.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I misheard you.
I saw that in the theater, and I was like, so at the opening when they're putting they like block the sun out, and I'm sitting with my friends like, what the heck is happening? Like, are they retarded? Like, when did he lose? Isn't he like an immortal gene? Like, but what? I wanted to leave. I sat there. This movie is awful. It's one of the worst ones I've ever seen.
There was Wicked, the Marvels, Quantumanium, Ant-Man and Wasp. I will never look at MODOK the same again. They destroyed that. They destroyed that character for me forever.
That's funny.
I can't. The animated that little adult series that they had with him, MODOK.
I'm not watching that.
I'm done with MODOK. I am done.
My daughter and son-in-law took my wife and I to go see Thunderbolts, and we were kind of having a laugh at her expense because she's not watched 1 minute of anything since 2020. She's not watched any of these shit. So we showed her MODOK, and she literally laughed out loud. She just kind of laughed at what they did. And I forget. I think she brought up like a Ninja Turtle thing. She brought up like a Ninja Turtle character, and she's like, "Oh yeah, look at Mrs. Pops pulling out a Ninja Turtle reference. Good for her." So. All right, brother. Well, it's been good, man. Thanks for all your input and thoughts and my thesis on mediocrity and our age of cinema and entertainment writ large. It doesn't sound like anime and gaming are, I don't want to say too different. I know it's better in some ways, but I feel like it also is, a lot of people are still clinging to what used to be good and not like, hey, this is actually super solid. And people are talking about it, 5-10 years later.
You should see me. I've been pulling out a lot of bangers lately with the game streams I've been doing, because I've been going to like different games, different genres, even indie ones, and there's a fan made one I'm currently playing, the PS1 Rayman game that came out on the PS1 a long time ago in the 90s. way better in everything. But I digress. Pops, I had a great time. I miss you guys. I miss hanging out with everybody. One of these days, you gotta get me for Talk Hard. One of these days, because I would gladly bring my experience, bring what I have to the table. It just depends on what it is, because it just depends on what it is, and it depends on what kind of poll, what kind of memories I have of that one. It just depends. However,
we're all over the map, so we get it.
I can make it work somehow, but I would love to be on one of these days. It just depends on my RL schedule, because if I won the lotto, I would strategically retire and do this. Invest in a few things that are worthwhile and still do this. But that's a pipe dream. That's a pipe dream. That's a pipe dream.
I'm hoping, because I'm a lot closer to retirement than you, so I'm hoping this is just something that I do, and we can just keep doing more of it and have fun doing it. And the IRL is definitely part of that struggle for sure. So I get it.
I have fun doing this, and I finally hit 4K public watch hours.
Congratulations, my friend.
I'm past the 500. I'm on my way to 1,000, and then I'm fully past my threshold. I am like, when I saw the 4K hit green, I'm like, I accomplished one of my long-time goals.
Yeah, it's a work in progress, man, and now you gotta keep going to the next goal and just keep. The hardest thing I think is just the perseverance. Is people just have to understand that you don't have total control of what we do. We don't have total control of any of the crap that we've been talking about. But we enjoy ranting and raving about it, and hopefully, any of you are out there enjoying. You're ranting and raving along with us, or thinking that we're crazy or we're stupid or this didn't age well. I don't know, but we're going to find out together, and it's been fun. It's been fun having an anime night on with me, and we'll do it. We got our schedules lined up, keep doing it again, and I can't thank you guys enough for being out there making any of this possible, man. Can you believe we even have people who watch us? Is still kind of mind blowing to me. I mean, I don't know you, man. Sometimes I feel like, why are these people even watching us? So, but here we are doing our thing.
Oh, absolutely.
With that, folks, be blessed. Talk hard. Till next time. I am Pops.
Gotta have my Pops.
There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide. Because here comes Yoshi, and he's up against Goombas, Groovers, Pooh Buddies, and Piranha Plants in Nintendo's new stack and sandwich puzzle game called Yoshi. Match the creatures and wipe them out. Play alone or with a friend, but mix them and you won't stand a chance. It's challenging. It's overwhelming.
Hey, Yoshi!
It's Yoshi, the new puzzle game for Game Boy or NES. Now you're playing with power.
Masked Rider, alien teenage superhero. In the battle to save Earth from the evil mutant marauders, he stands alone. But when things really get on top of him, he can transform into Masked Rider Super Gold, which will you use to save the world from the mutant marauders. Masked Rider and Masked Rider Super Gold. Action figures from Bandai.
これぞトヨタとジオニック社の技術の融合。私を導いてくれ、オーリス。ジオニックトヨタ。